everybody. Welcome to Epic Live for another podcast. This is the second of our brand new mini series, Spoken Art, which is going to be all about different featured artists that are going to be showing in Gallery 2960. Today, we are very thankful to have Erin Spence with us. Erin, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great today. We want to just talk about the show. You'll be displaying your brand new show, Safe, here at the Epic starting in November. And we just want to find out about what drives you. Tell us a little bit about how you got into art and what makes you want to create.
Yeah, I think around 2013, I started watching like watercolor YouTube tutorials, and that was what got me creating art regularly again, as opposed to just the crafts I would do as a kid. And then beyond that, I got into film when I watched Wes Anderson films, and
Oh, nice.
I decided to become a filmmaker because I realized he was from Texas, and I thought that if he could do it, then I could do it too.
I didn't know he was from Texas.
he's
You got a
from-
favorite film?
I like Fantastic Mr. Fox, yeah.
Fantastic Mr. Fox. And you said he was from where?
Houston.
Houston.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely you can do it. So you're a filmmaker too.
Yes.
Gotcha. What kind of films are you making or have worked on?
You might be able to tell from my show, but I like to make horror films.
Sure.
I like that side of things. I also like comedy a little bit,
Okay.
but more of the dark comedy.
Hey, I mean, there's a lot of untapped potential, I think, in the dark comedy field.
Yeah.
Not a lot of movies coming out in that, so I'd look forward to seeing what you make next.
Thank you.
All right. All along that track, since we're talking about Wes Anderson, what kind of art or artist inspires you or has been an influence for you?
Sure. I'm going to talk about the stuff that inspired Safe specifically.
Sure.
Skinamarink came out. I really enjoyed that. I read House of Leaves, which came out in 2000, but it was really great to read, and it's an experimental novel. Like a Doom mod called myhouse.wad.
What is that?
It's a video game, so it can experiment with like spaces that are impossible in the real world because it's
Okay.
a video game, so you can manipulate things in that way and you can tell a story through the gameplay.
Okay.
That's been sweeping the internet a little bit. And then just other house-based horror, I guess, things like that.
Yeah, you really focused on houses for the show. About how houses, I think the phrase is like as safe as houses, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're kind of playing on?
Yeah, like how houses are supposed to be safe, and the most uncanny place to feel unsafe would be a house because that's where you're supposed to feel at home and at ease and relaxed.
Right, right. So, that kind of leads us into the motif or the theme behind the gallery. Just tell us more about that.
Yeah, I wanted to dig into like suburban horror aesthetics and the geometry of houses, which I hated drawing, honestly. I don't like technical drawing, but I had a lot of stairs to draw and stuff like that. But yeah, just the ways that houses can feel uncanny, especially when you are small. So I tried to play with like size and perspective a little bit whenever I could.
hmm I saw a lot of animals in the show. What's up with that?
I didn't want to put persons because persons are hard to relate to, especially if they don't look like you. And it's hard to make a universal person that someone can relate to. So if I have animals as my subjects, I figured they could be like a blank slate that you can paint yourself or anyone else into in the scene and like experience the scene through the eyes of that animal, I guess.
Sure, sure. Yeah, there was a lot of deer.
Yeah, I like deer. I think they're beautiful, and I think I add deer and rabbits a lot because I think they have like an innocence and a purity to them, being like woodland animals and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that fits really well into the ideas that you're playing with the show. This is really cool.
Thank you.
So next up, if you had a piece of advice for budding artists, what would that piece of advice be?
Keep working with a piece even if you don't like it. Like see it through to the end and keep reworking it. I started to use collage a lot lately, and it helps in covering up mistakes or in taking the piece in a different direction when you don't like where it's going, because you can just add these pre-made pieces sort of. But yeah, just like don't give up on something because it looks bad. Like get through the ugly stage and you'll like where it turns out.
Yeah, I think that's just a good tip for anybody, right? Like everybody's gonna have those rough patches.
Yeah, I mean, even if I'm writing a short film, I try to keep that in mind.
For sure. in film, kind of advice would you give?
Oh, that's hard. I didn't think about that one. I guess pick the right people for your project, and definitely have people help you with your project. Like, one of the first obstacles I had to face was learning how to collaborate with other people and, like, giving my project over to them in a way. It was hard to trust them, but I just picked the people that I knew would work together well and knew how to do what they were doing.
Sure. That's a fantastic piece of advice. I think building a team around you that you can trust is sometimes a little tricky, for sure. So that brings us to our last question, which is just what's next for you? What's next for your artistic career?
So I have a screenplay I've written called Clean, and I'm really excited to make that short film hopefully next year. I've applied to some grants, so I'm waiting on seeing where funding is at, but regardless, I'm going to get it made with my usual team, and I'm really excited to crowdfund it and to see where it, like, to make the best thing that I've made so far in terms of film.
Absolutely. Man, that is so cool, and good luck with that.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to hearing about your success.
Yeah.
So again, this has been the Spoken Art mini-series of Epic Live Podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And again, thank you, Erin, for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Bye, guys.